أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سراجا وقمرا منيرا وهو الذي جعل الليل والنهار خلفة لمن أراد أن يذكر أو أراد شكورا وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما والذين إذا أنفقوا لم يسرفوا ولم يقتروا وكان بين ذلك قواما والذين لا يدعون مع الله إلها آخر ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون ومن يفعل ذلك يلقى أثاما يضاعف له العذاب يوم القيامة ويخلد فيه مهانا إلا من تاب وآمن وعمل عملا صالحا فأولئك يبدل الله سيئاتهم حسنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما ومن تاب وعمل صالحا فإنه يتوب إلى الله متابا والذين لا يشهدون الزور وإذا مروا باللغو مروا كراما والذين إذا ذكروا بآيات ربهم لم يخروا عليها صما وعميانا والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذريتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما أولئك يجزون الغرفة بما صبروا ويلقون فيها تحية وسلاما خالدين فيها حسنت مستقرا ومقاما قل ما يعبأ بكم ربي لولا دعاؤكم فقد كذبتم فسوف يكون لزاما.
علم الرجال, which is the knowledge of the men, refers to the entire science behind the narrators of the hadith. The word rijal, okay, is very interesting. Of course, rajul, rijal. Yeah, rajul is man and rijal is plural. Yeah, men. Now, what this men is referring to are all the narrators and the transmitters of hadith. So all of the characters that are involved in narrating a narration from the Prophet ﷺ all the way to the one who's collecting it and putting it in his book or teaching his students. All of these people from that generation to that generation to that, he told me and I heard him say that so-and-so said, that he met so-and-so who said, that he met so-and-so who said, that the Prophet ﷺ said. So all of these people, they're called rijal, alright? And the way that we authenticate hadith is that we have a biography on every single narrator. Okay, every single one of these rijal. Rijal obviously means men, but we have female narrators as well. So rijal is a generic term referring to male and female, of course. Okay, so all of these hadith narrators, we will then have the big scholars, they will write a biography on each one, and the big hadith scholars, they will make a statement about each person. He's very authentic, he's very, very good, he's very, very strong, he's very weak, he lies, he fabricates. He was great once he was young, but when he became old, he became senile. He started to forget things when he moved from Mecca to Basra. They will give a biographical piece of information that makes it clear for the one who comes afterwards to be able to make a decision on this person and his presence in the chain. That will then help that muhaddith to give a ruling upon that hadith and say this hadith is broken, this hadith is weak. This whole science is called ilm al-rijal, knowing the status of these people. Ilm al-rijal is just one aspect, one science, one aspect of the entire science, which is known as mustalah al-hadith, the science of hadith in its entirety. We need some kind of pure symbol for impurity, for najasa. Okay, khalas. Liverpool shirt, yeah? So, this is just our standard, this is international symbol for najasa, okay? Don't anyone take it personally or anything. This is just this is just a teaching system. No one has to get emotional about it. No one's going to take it personally. No one's going to give us death threats or anything. We do like to visit Liverpool in the odd decade, once every 10 years if we're unfortunate enough.
On my immediate right, I have Ming the Merciless. I kept saying Ming the Merciless, and no one was able to connect. Sheikh Yasir Qadi has blessed us in this trip with the most slick new garments that we've never seen, and he's currently Bismillah, mashallah, tabarakallah. We made dua for him already. I don't know if it worked or not. That's the problem. This one, mashallah, is a wonderful little number, and as I said, it has a great collar. And the collar, wallahi, reminds me of Ming the Merciless. You remember Flash Gordon? Yeah? Back in the day? So, mashallah, he's the king of fashion. The other day, subhanallah, he was wearing a Star Trek uniform. Did you see the blue one? Yeah? He's so cool.
I love Star Trek. What's wrong with Star Trek? Is there anything wrong with Star Trek?
I was so happy.
Every day I watch Star Trek as a teenager. Every single day.
I mean, a new generation, next generation, or
yes, next generation.
Yes. Picard.
Yes, Picard. Yes.
Data. Who's your favorite character?
And not in front of this.
Okay, then, khalas. But I was just saying, it had these beautiful shower pads and whatever. And I think you guys know. Knowledge is like air, really. For those who are practicing Muslims, those who make that step from being just a nominal Muslim to a practicing one, the first thing they recognize is that knowledge, ilm, is like air. You need to have it all the time, just like you need to breathe all the time. It's essential. It's like our food and water. It guides us in every single thing that we do, and it also brings ease. Obviously, if you breathe, the oxygen which you're taking in are doing functions that you don't really know about, but they're essential. They're essential functions. They keep your body alive. But you don't know about that. And actually, if you go your entire life not knowing about that, it won't hurt you. At the same time, if you are suffocating and then you start to breathe, you actually feel it as a relief, right? So when you start to breathe and it starts to feel more comfortable, if you've ever had an asthma attack or you've ever had a real bad cold and you can't breathe and suddenly you can, then you know just how great that feels. Okay, so that's ilm. Ilm like that is something which has a obvious impact and it has a hidden impact as well. Meaning that when you start practicing, when you start to study knowledge, there's this buzz that you feel when you learn something and you hear something that inspires you, motivates you, or you actually put in something into practice immediately. But knowledge is massive and your life is very limited. Your life experiences are very, very small. So you'll only have a limited opportunity to put knowledge into action. So then what really is the knowledge doing for you? It's working behind the scenes. What knowledge does is that it protects you, it blesses you, it accrues your good deeds, those which you do not see. The angels are collecting that for you, and it will come for you upon a day where you feel that there's nothing left to come. Knowledge and seeking knowledge, every second that you're here or online or at home, wherever you are, every second that you're doing this, you're not watching the football, for example. Yeah? Which is exactly as we all know we would be doing if we weren't here, right? So you're not messing about, you're not going outside doing something, you're not falling into haram even. The point is that you are involved in worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the study of Allah's deen, which allows you to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the best of actions. Imam Ahmad was asked Shall I pray in the night or shall I revise my knowledge? Imam Ahmad said, I do not, look at his answer, I do not know of anything more rewarded than the seeking of knowledge. Meaning the tahsil al-ilm and tarajul al-ilm, meaning the seeking of knowledge, the gaining of it, the learning of it, and the revision of it, and then the practice of it. So it's from the best of actions. Every second that you're here, it is something which is working for you. I was told that many different things that I should do, improve the teaching experience and whatever, and so I have, and we've got this thing here which is amazing, as you can see. One of the things I was asked, which I found really interesting, is that I should not attack the PG people so much. So obviously you can imagine that that's a kind of like showing a red flag to a bull, isn't it, really? So
you forget, I can. It's off.
Well, like, Shaz, put the picture up, yeah. Don't be like that. Come on, man. What are you gonna do? Take this off? Okay. This is my favorite picture in the entire world of Shazad Salim. This is what Shazad looks like when he gets upset with me, okay? He gets upset with me whenever I trim my beard, because he always tells me, trim your beard, look proper on the screen. And when I do that, I always take off too much, and that's why he looks at me like that. He cussed me so much last time I did that. I just want to say that I am now all powerful. I can do crazy things. You see what I'm saying? In the middle of a class, I can introduce things and this and that. So I want you to know that I'm going to have so much fun this year with this whole process that it's going to be untrue.
Just as we're on live. Well done. We're live.
Is it okay? Is it alright? Is it alive? Does it still work?
Huh?
Have I killed it?
You're live. You're live, yeah. Still working.
Is this thing, it's alive, yeah?
Talab al-ilm, or the seeking of knowledge, is not an easy task. And once Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala was asked by one of his students who had been with him for a long time, he said, Imam Ahmad, for how long are you going to study hadith? For how long are you going to be involved in knowledge? And so Imam Ahmad said that knowledge is basically something that I will seek it from the cradle to the grave. From the cradle to the grave. There is no end to knowledge. I'm always going to increase my knowledge. It's something that the only thing that will stop me from seeking knowledge is the angel of death when my time on this earth is over. And seeking knowledge is not something that is a weekend thing or it's a 1 month thing. No, it's a lifelong endeavor. And alhamdulillah, my dear friend Ustad Abu Isa, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase him in knowledge and in taqwa and in humility. He is doing a class that I believe is one of the most important classes for the true student of knowledge in the Western world. It is a class that deals with one of the most important books of Hanbali fiqh, and that is Zad al-Mustaqni'. And Zad al-Mustaqni' is a class that is a book that the Hanbali scholars of our generations and the previous really few hundred years have considered to be the standard reference for the intermediate really student of knowledge. It can be explained at a basic level, it can be explained at an intermediate level. And my own Shaykh Ibn Uthaymin rahimahullah ta'ala, he would always teach this book. He taught this book so many times, over and over. When he finished it, he would start all over again. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me to actually attend portions of Zad al-Mustaqni', which are printed these days as Sharh al-Mumti', that is the beautiful explanation of Zad al-Mustaqni'. Allah blessed me to attend 1 month long long, the very last year, the very last summer of the life of Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen to attend this, and I found it to be extremely beneficial. And I know that Ustad Abu Isa is primarily using Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen Sharh of Zad al-Mustaqni', and I know that each and every one of you has benefited immensely from this text, from the explanation, from Ustad Abu Isa, and I know many of you have been entertained by his humor, by his tangents and whatnot, and I want to give you a word of encouragement that persevere, persist, continue taking notes, continue benefiting, continue teaching others, and most importantly, make sure that this knowledge benefits you in your life. The most important aspect of knowledge is to implement it, is to act upon it. As all of you should know by now, Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, هَتَفَ الْعِلْمُ بِالْعَمَلِ فَإِنْ أَجَابَهُ وَإِلَّا ارْتَحَلَ. That knowledge is calling out to action. Come, come, come. If action responds, it remains. And if actions don't respond, then it goes away. So this is the knowledge of your basic fiqh, of your wudu, of your tahara, of how to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every one of you had better see a marked improvement in their daily lives, in their rituals, in their routine. And if they're seeing this, then alhamdulillah, that is great. If not, then they should go back, recheck their intention, and then make sure that that knowledge is implemented.
So it might actually make logical sense that the prayer, that the prayer itself is of an equal time, as you can see here. It's not interested in me. Let me show you one of these. What's that Mr. Miyagi moves? If I had a pair of chopsticks, I'd catch this thing for you in the hand. Shaz, challenge me, Shaz.
It's so interesting. The train. Look, the train's still going by.
Okay, you remember I said to you that the train started going by? I think, well, how many minutes have gone by? Check on the video. I think 4 or 5 minutes have gone by. It is still going past. Wallahi, if I could move the camera, but I don't want to move the camera because
they can see the train.
They can see it?
Yeah.
In the picture?
Yeah.
Okay, khalas, then you are watching that train. Look, there it ended right now.
There's the end.
There's the end. And by the way, those are double containers, by the way. That's a container on top of a container.
Just imagine if the driver forgot something at the back of the train.
Has to go and get it. Custom. And all of that is just powered by the front part, subhanAllah. Yara, that fly completely destroyed my thingy. What was I saying, Yara?
And the Maturidi and Ash'ari believes the way they define Tawheed and Iman, it's quite different than the way Salaf defined Iman and Tawheed. For them, Al-Iman and Al-Tawheed, it is basically, Al-Iman is a tasdeeq, to believe this is absolutely true. And the opposite of Tawheed, which is kufr, to deny what is, it's not true. So belie, at-takdeeb. So you say, no, it's lie, it's not true, I deny. But, and that's also related to the issue of amal al-qalb, the heart's action. That's why for them the kufr, the opposite, because it's a coin has two faces. So if that's how you see the iman, the opposite will be the kufr is to be lied to not believe it's the truth. But the Salaf believe that the iman is bigger than just the believing it's truth. It's believing it's truth and to submit yourself to it, part of it, which is include the actions. That's why for them the kufr is not just the deed to say it's not true or to deny it. The kufr also for them it is by not submitting yourself to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but not by not doing this action. So that's why they will use the word juhud, referring to those who refuse to submit themselves to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The Prophet ﷺ said, إذا جلس بين شعبها الأربعة ثم جاهدها فقد وجب الغسل. Narrated by Bukhari and Muslim, the hadith of Abu Huraira, the Prophet ﷺ said that if he sits on her 4 parts and then enters her, then it is...
Just announcement to parents, Abang is bringing all their kids to KFC.
You're clapping, that's got to be the worst entrance in the history of entrances. Can you just for the sake of video history, this is who just walked in at the stage of Amar, what kind of Just tell me.
It's out of control.
Did you not think?
It's out of control.
It's out of control, yeah? You're telling me it's out of control? You should have checked there. What did you hear, by the way?
I didn't hear anything.
Good man.
I just came noisy.
Well done, Akhi, well done. Jazakallah khair. Yeah.
So, okay, I mean, the parents, I'm going to bring them to a drive-through KFC.
Wait, we're finishing. If you guys want that, that's fine. But we're now done in 2 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then,
Okay.
guys, no KFC.
Don't blame me. I'm just. Come on, man, that's enough, man, Miskeen. Spent the whole hour out there, man. You know he'd rather be in here. Alright, anyway. So, what a hadith to walk into, man. Unbelievable. This is the most ajib lesson in the history of OP. I don't know what's happening. We return on Pakistan Independence Day. What a day. Hold on. Because I know a lot of you like me to sing to you on a Wednesday evening. How does it go? Is it quwwati or uwati? What is it? What's the next line? I can do this song. Da 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 da. I'm protecting you because obviously you shouldn't sing too much. I am doing this class in response to your requests. Many people who have been in the seminars that I've given, and back in the day when I used to teach locally as well, have requested a serious, meaty class on sacred knowledge, and it's here now, and I believe that it will cater for all of your needs, and that's not some kind of magnificent claim. I honestly believe that, because the reason I chose the book is because it really does cover every single aspect of life that is relevant to the Muslim, in everything that you ever wanted to know, from every aspect. So I hope that inshallah this will do the trick. I hope that you'll join us in this journey. I hope that you'll take it as serious as I am. I hope that you will enjoy the classes, inshallah. Wa jazakumullahu khairan.
Arnane, zamu kashe, zamu rike bayi, zamu sayar. Shekau, shekau. Kau. Wannan shine shekau in baka gane ba. Shekau. Wannan shine.
والله يعني والله يعني Bollywood والله يعني he just took the gun and just threw it like that. What? Huh? Arnani, like a Bollywood film. Wallahi, this is what we were discussing. We were debating this proper. He's convinced, by the way, it's satire. And the reason he's convinced is because he doesn't know about the situation. Sulaiman, real, all of his videos like this all the time, sah?
This is for real.
This is for real, all his videos. Abu Bakr Shakal. Which person who's a leader of the people and he's taken his Shakal, cow, Shakal. That's his name. It's like me saying, I am Yani what? Wallahi, they turned the matter of blood, wallahi, the most serious of matter, into a comedy and a joke. You're looking at that, I think, we're gonna sell these women because they are Maltesers and chocolate bars. Yeah? Yani, this is what life is. Yani, there's nothing left. We are the people of Quran, a'udhu billah. We are the people of Sunnah, a'udhu billah. That's why we have to apologize. That's why we have to take this seriously. This is our deen which is being, badnam, right? Our religion is being disfigured here. So, anyway, 2014 was full of bakwas, man. Hardcore, right? And moving forward, I don't want to obviously make it too negative. Everything seems a bit negative. Alhamdulillah, we had Quran at the beginning and yani some kind of trailer behavior or whatever. I don't know. That was good. That was good. that was a good attempt, yani, of increasing the mood. But I mean, the message, of course, Mr. Arnani is not going to listen to me. All right, Shakao, kakao. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about me, right? And Pakistan Taliban probably actually do care about me, and I'm a bit worried about that as we'll see over the next couple of weeks. Yani, inshallah, Allah alam, yani, we need to change our itinerary a little bit, but I just want to make sure, and my closing message, yani, we are Muslims, we are not sellouts, we know exactly who's causing all this trouble and all this fitna and so on, and we only want to react and save our people who are being killed, and our sisters and our children in Waziristan, in Fatah, in tribal areas, in the areas that the Pakistan Taliban are in, have been murdered, have been droned, have been killed. I want to say to you that our response in these kind of times cannot be a response that is outside of the Sharia. It cannot be by following up with an evil which is greater than the original one. It's just not possible. Once you go down that route, there's nothing left for your Islam. And I want to say to you this, okay, that if you believe that the victory of this deen in the end is going to happen by you losing all of its principles, then you don't know Islam in the first place. And this is, as you've heard so many times before, if this dunya, if all of us get killed, okay, then let us be killed. You know that when you study fiqh, and this is, of course, is a fiqh class, and yani in 20 years time we'll come to that chapter, inshallah, okay? As you all know, yeah, this is a running joke, you see, every chapter that we talk about, 20 years time, yani. Okay? When it comes to the amount of actions that you can do, right, in necessity, like eat pork and drink alcohol and this, and say kufr even, whatnot, everything goes except one thing. That's to kill another person. To kill another person, another Muslim, to kill another person, it's not going to happen. You are in a situation where the person says you've got to shoot this person to survive. You know, in those scenarios, take the death. Take the death. Coward, take the death. Because this deen, yani, does not allow a person to take another Muslim's life. Sacred. End of story. You'll find that when you study fiqh. You know, when you study this more and more, you'll realize that the ends never ever justify the means. Never. Anyway, mashallah, nice and depressing. Jazakumullah khair.
We can argue that there are 5 levels when students study a madhab. When they study fiqh, they will start at a very basic nursery text that is told, and that's it. And then the second level, which is probably this, which is where they're kind of introduced to a bit more detail, and also the existence of differences of opinion. The third would maybe mention an evidence, third level. The fourth and fifth, which are kind of close to each other, would involve discussions and throwing the opinions around, looking at the opposing evidences, discussing it. Now, we, in this class, are doing a level 2 text, but the style that we're doing it is a level 4, not a level 5, a level 4 kind of class, because we are discussing opposing opinions, we're looking at some issues, we're going into some briefish detail. Level 5 would take us 300 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's so much discussion. Wallah, I'm not even kidding. I mean, I'm nobody, but I learn something new every single day about virtually every single thing that I know. I want you to think about this statement. That's not modesty or whatever. That's about as accurate a statement I can make. I learn something new every single day about every single thing that I know. Not a single fact a day. I didn't say that. I didn't say I learn something new every day, which is the non-Muslim kind of, cliched statement that everyone uses. Yeah, I learn something new every day. Everyone learns something new every day. What kind of statement is that? I'm telling you that I learn something new every day about every single thing that I know. So for example, if I know an issue about standing in prayer, I learn something new about standing in prayer that I didn't know. If I learn something about the moving of the finger that I know and the new and the opinions, I learn something new about just the moving of the finger. Knowledge is so deep. I say if there's one thing that needs absolutely no trailers and no promos and no no rhetoric to sell and no emotional kind of whatever, it's the prayer. Because the prayer sells itself so well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphasizes the prayer so well. The Prophet ﷺ made it such an emphasis in his life. The Prophet ﷺ made it the most important connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have prayer, you have Allah. If you don't have prayer, you have no one. So the one who is negligent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in worshipping Him, like he deserves, not like he needs, like he deserves. The one who is negligent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will never be able to fulfill the rights of any of the creation. Whoever is not showing khair to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is not showing generosity and open-heartedness when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when it comes to performing your thanks and showing your gratitude, they will never show khair to anyone else from the creation. How can they be? How can they show khair? And any attempt to show any kind of khair will be something which is fake or deficient or unaccepted. It doesn't matter how many people of any sort, of any kind that you try to help and serve and whatever. If you do not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I don't care what kind of activist you are, I don't care what kind of charity work you are, I don't care how good you are to your parents. If you don't worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and look after the one who created your parents and who gave you the ability to give charity and gave you the intellect and opportunity to be active in your activism, then you've done nothing and you're wasting your time. And that is the importance of salah. I want you to just reflect upon that point. That we have been given something to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala back with. Imagine that we didn't have the prayer. Imagine that we had to try and get the happiness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without the prayer. Imagine we had to try and work it out ourselves. What would have happened to this nation? What would have happened to this nation is what happened to the Christians. Where the whole nation as a whole leaves off the prayer, and those tiny minority that actually still do, they make it up as they go along. I know all kinds of statements, all kinds of words here and there, the odd moment, Sunday there, the odd New Year's mass there, whatever, TV program, songs of praise, amen. I don't know what kind of bakwas it is. But the point is that it will be here and there little things. People will absolutely just flit away, as is the nature of humankind. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obligated upon mankind, knowing what happened to the Jews and the Christians before, giving us a ritual prayer which is keeping us in the game. Keeping us in the game. I need to show you some context, okay? For the students, they need to know, because otherwise the lesson loses its meaning. So everyone needs to know, don't listen to them, don't listen to the rumors. This lesson will not make any sense whatsoever unless you understand a few ground rules, especially if this is your first lesson. So it's very important that there are certain characters in this experience, and this is, oh my goodness, what have I just done there? Okay, I've just drawn a black line across Yani Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar. That's going to be new racism scandal tomorrow. Okay, but you need to know that there are certain characters that when I'm talking about, this is who they are. And you're often involved in some kind of exchange or some kind of trash talk or something in between these people. So this is Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar that you're seeing on the screen, okay? And that is now me completely stuck. Okay, let's get back to there. And that's Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar. And this is Nadif, mashallah. Okay, gotta press done. Alright, that's my friend Nadif. Whenever I'm talking or being angry at someone, that would be Nadif. And then this is Abu Dhar, okay? And any opportunity to have some fun at Abu Dhar. You gotta say those are pretty sick pair of glasses though, bismillah, mashallah, isn't it? Yeah? Abid, you can't see Abid, eh? You can't see. Okay. Do you want to be included, Abid? No, Abid doesn't want to be included. Okay, that's fine. No problem. So whenever I'm saying AZ, so whenever you see me say AZ, what's happening? Then that's what I'm talking about. That's AZ. These are all members of the PG team, of course. And then next, this is the gangster, the Don, the King. Yeah, look at this, Yani. Only mafioso sit like this. Only someone who's involved in something haram sits like this. Yeah, he's got a glass of God knows what in his glasses in his hand. Yeah, and he's sitting back there, shades, this, that, knowing he's on camera, and Yani looking like that. I mean, seriously. Just look. Oh my God. That's just business, yeah. So that's Shaz, okay? That's the guy who's sitting right in front of me, right there, looking at me all the time. Most miserable guy on the planet. Look at him now. Look at him. What's happening, Yara? Just cheer up, man. This is the launch day, honestly. Right. And then of course, every time you see me talk about Bobs, Wow. 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 Well, Bobby J. Oh my God. He thought it wouldn't happen. He thought it wouldn't happen. But it did. Happy day. Oh, Bobby J. So this is Bobs. So you guys need to know about Bobs, okay? Bobs is my oldest friend amongst all these people here. He is like my first student and my worst student as well. But you'll be glad to know that I'm battering Bobs in the fantasy league, battering him, which is something which is amazing. And also, it's important that you know that that's it, Shaz, by the way. That's all the people I wanted to show. Do best deal. So.
Not only that, it's also one of the best books ever read or studied or wrote about fiqh al-Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, which is Az-Zad. And they said in the old days, Man hafidh Az-Zad hakama bayna al-ibad. Those who memorize Az-Zad, they can judge between people. They literally can rule in every single issue that can happen to Muslim community or people ask about it.
This statement of Allahu Akbar, which is wrong. And it should be Allahu Akbar. The difference between the two, and it's difficult to discern for the untrained ear, is that there is a dhamma, pish, yes, at the end of the Akbar. So, Allahu Akbaru, Allahu Akbaru. But if you are to say it together, then it will become Allahu Akbarullahu Akbar. You understand what I'm saying or not? You didn't, did you? You know when someone's blacking it, saying, yeah. Okay. So, I hope you guys are okay, inshallah. And we have a follow-up to last week's lesson, which was on this lesson, of course, is dedicated to
honestly, you're
Oh my goodness me. This, was my gift that they gave me. And first of all, I got played. I expect a proper gift when I go to Canada. And this is the gift they made me, something torture me for the rest of my life. I said to Sheikh Ihlan, Sheikh, I went to Canada, they got me a gift. He goes, what did they get you? I said, a signed picture of Shazad. He goes, Shazad, he goes, Shazad EDCME. I said, no, Sheikh, Shazad BEM. He goes, isn't that the same as EDCME? I go, yeah, same thing, Sheikh, it's alright. Yeah, taqriban same thing. So this is what he got me. What I was given even. Okay? And
That's enough.
Oh, okay, sorry. Wait, this one's just put it here. 1 second, hold on. Just yeah,
I can move the camera, it's no problem.
Don't move the camera, you've been like that for you. It's a picture that's meant to go up and meant to make you smile every time you work. Why do you think people, when they're in the office, you're getting paid lots of money, they have a picture there of the people they love, and they look at them and they feel inspired, they go back to doing what they love. Yeah, and subhanAllah, it's a natural human thing, Shazada. We shouldn't even have pictures in a masjid, and you made me bring this to the masjid. Look, yeah. Anyway, I personally think that this is a punishable offense, by the way, okay? Person who got me this, because they're obviously trying to play me. So I just want to say that revenge is not going to be a dish served cold. Revenge is going to be so sweet. I've got a plan. Yeah, I know who gave this to me, and you see what happens. Amazing, come back amazing. You know, one thing is that the world knows, the universe knows, never mess with AE. Because I don't have a limit. You know what I'm saying? Normally if someone has a limit, then it's okay. It's going to be like this, going to be like that. But when you don't have limits, it's dangerous, yeah. So I just want to let you know.
Can we the picture?
Okay, sorry.
What's the award?
What's the award? That's exactly. That's exactly what I've been asking myself. I've been asking myself for the last 2 months. What the bloody hell did I get it for? For like cleaning someone's teeth. Oh my god. For cleaning some people's teeth. And like the customer, I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, look. Okay, listen, this is not good. As I understand, there's an ethnic quota. There's a quota system, isn't it? Yeah? You can't just give it to the quota, yeah? You've got to give it to you've got to find at least one pack here to give it to. Yeah? So packs were short. Packs this year, what were they doing? Either doing car insurance scams or pedophiles or whatnot. So it was a small number to choose from this year. So they said, yeah, let's find a dentist. Makes sense to me. Anyone who attacks Shaz attacks me. And anyone who insults Shaz insults me. And I'm the only one who's allowed to laugh at Shazad's BCD medal or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Is that the rhyme? Is that it?
He's wishing. I never ever heard the Queen ever in my life. I wish that there was no Queen and no BCD medal and no medals and no nothing. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sends these things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sends down these things to test us. Some people He tries with difficulty and hardship, and other people He tries with wealth, fame, celebrity, and medals. Yeah? So I am the only one who has the right. The only one. Because it takes a lot of time to be able to keep dissing a guy straight publicly on internet, on video, on this. I'm the only one who's allowed to do that. And definitely someone who's never met Shaz, like 3 times or 5 times, that can't happen. Someone who doesn't know Shaz properly, especially if that person doesn't even live in a country, and then especially if that person's a girl. Astaghfirullah. What is that? What's going on there? So there was an attack on Shazad and his honor, framing him in a picture, finding the picture, blah blah blah. Yeah, and then there's an attack on me. Instead of giving me like a box of chocolates or something, matlabi, yeah, they gave me that nonsense, just to make me burn, because they know that I'm upset. Because everyone knows that I have served this community for many, many years, right? I am fully invested and deserving of to be recognized, yeah. And instead they gave it to the guy who cleans the teeth, yeah. So I'm obviously upset. So to make me burn more and more, they make a picture so that every time I see it, I'm gonna burn. So it's an attack on me. It's an attack on Shazad. It's an attack on the integrity of the Dars, and the integrity of Chidul Masjid, on the integrity of actually this country. Okay, it's an attack on the integrity of this country by a foreign girl. I mean, I just don't even know, how to make this any worse than it already is. I just don't even need to add any rhetoric to it. And all of this hiding behind the scenes, hiding behind a curtain. Trying to pretend like no one's there, whatever, you never see, never hear, never nothing. So I thought to myself, how am I gonna... I know what everyone's thinking was a lesson. I don't care about the lesson, to be honest. I'll be honest with you. Today's lesson is awesome, by the way. Awesome lesson, mashallah. But I don't care about the lesson. I thought to myself, how am I going to get someone back? How am I going to do that? Yeah? Nadif was like, what was Nadif like? What did he say?
oh, you gotta get her. Nadif was actually the opposite. He was like, she did so great, amazing, you need to get her a gift. I said, have you lost your mind, son? Yeah, I'm trying to think all this time. Suddenly, subhanAllah, I'm teaching in a city called Windsor. No one's ever heard of it ever, I know, okay? Windsor, you know Windsor, it's in Berkshire. It's this thing. Apparently they said they named it after Windsor there, okay? I don't know, okay? I am telling a little lie. I really like Windsor in Canada, but I just have to diss Windsor because of this person. Anyway, I'm sitting there, maybe about half an hour left to go, 10 minutes left to go of my lesson, of our weekly class, the weekend, protect this house. I'm stumped. I got no idea what's going to happen. Then, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, his system, it's a mysterious system. You just don't know. Because the guy stands up and he goes, yeah, I just want to play a video where we're celebrating any of the achievements of XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And I said, hello, turned around. And I was subjected to, without doubt, the funniest video. I laughed so much that I nearly coughed blood. Okay? And I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this video right there and then. And it was then that it occurred to me, you know what? Never mess with the awliya. Okay? Don't mess with the AE, because the universe will somehow get revenge. The universe will take care of it. So I'm just letting you guys know that I have a good relationship with all of you. Okay? There's never any reason for us to ever fall out. Okay? But if you fall out, make quick tawbah and make sure you get the chocolates in. Because I'm scared for you. Because it's not me who will get you back. It's the universe that will get you back. It's the forces of nature. I hope these girls are listening carefully. Okay? You will be got back really badly. And so I present to you revenge. Take it away, Mr. Shazad Salim.
Alaikum. You're watching Ittihad Inspirations, where we highlight just some of the accomplishments of our outstanding Al-Maghrib students here in Windsor and Michigan, who've taken what they've learned and used it to benefit their communities. In this edition, we recognize one long-time awesome Ittihadi, Widad Mazahi. A consistent Al-Maghrib student and volunteer since 2007, Widad has benefited the Windsor community in many ways. She was a core volunteer with the Windsor Islamic Association's Muslim Youth Club, organizing many sisters' qiyams and other programs over the years. She was also a contributing member in planning the Kiddie Ramadan seminars, which were full-day interactive seminars to teach children about Ramadan, and is currently a part of the committee that's working to restart programs for sisters at the Windsor Mosque. Within the University of Windsor's MSA, Widad has served as an executive member and was active in organizing the MSA's weekly halaqas, as well as many outreach efforts, including Relay for Life and the MSA's yearly Islam Awareness Week. She's also taken part in MAC Youth summer camps and their MAC Youth Leads program, which is a community program aimed at building leadership and social skills of young people in grades 1 to 12.
Stop it.
Currently, among many other things, Widad serves as the secretary for the Windsor Islamic Council's Media Relations Committee and as the head of academic affairs for Logical Progression, an online weekly fiqh program taught by Sheikh Abu Isa Ni'matullah and organized by Al-Maghrib Institute and Prophetic Guidance. We pray that all of her efforts are accepted and that they serve as an inspiration for us all. This is what she's done, and you can do it too. Thank you, Widad, for being an Ittihad inspiration. Thank you for watching this video.
Khalas done, yeah? Turn the thing off, khalas. Dr. Shazad is saying, where's the cuss? This is amazing. This is amazing. He's confused, everyone's confused. I'm just saying, Widad, yeah, don't mess with your elders. Yeah? Don't mess with the scholars. Don't mess with Shazad. Don't mess with the awliya. Don't mess with the AE. Okay? It's done, it's done. Just play the game according to the rules. Keep it professional. Yeah? Don't make it anything more than that. Huh, Bobs? That's how we exist, isn't it? That's how we operate, yeah? Dr. Zad, do you agree? Okay then. Alright, can we now do some lesson now, yeah? Yeah?
Can I just tell you what happened? Yeah, by the way, when that video came, my girl, she hid underneath the table. Hid underneath the table. You know, I laughed so much I nearly bled out my eyes. Anyway. Honest to God, I've never even seen that shaitan. How about that? That's the first time I've seen it. Alright, so we had about 15, I think, or whatever. Yeah? 9? I've forgotten how many people even said it. Right, put your hands up when you see that logo. It represents to you shaitan with all of its connotations and negativity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. So maybe, So what did we have? We had either 12 or 16 verses 10, which proves that it's not so obvious. Does that mean that it's now too doubtful that it should be avoided? No doubt. That's my position. Does it mean that someone who's wearing it would say haram, haram? For me, this is validation that we wouldn't kick this person, rip it off his back kind of thing. This is a classic example of something like that. But no doubt that anything which is shaitani in its nature, whether positive, negative, whether people are thick or not, people understand it as its reality or not, whether advertising has done a great trick in fooling us that he's a cartoon character or not, it should be avoided. And the scholars would all agree on that. Right? And people just want to be polite, people just want to say thank you, don't know what to say. Like my mum, miskeen, yani, complete disaster she was. I went to drop her off at the airport on Sunday to go to Riyadh. And this is just the funniest thing. I nearly cried with laughter. We went to the check-in desk, and there was a non-Muslim guy doing the check-in, and it was very, very quick and very, very, whatever. We were underweight anyway, meaning our luggage, but he was so quick and so, gave my mum the seats that she wanted, gave her everything super quick, whatever, and it was gone. So as I turned around to walk away, I said, cheers, mate. So my mum goes, okay, thank you. Nice to Christmas. Nice to Christmas. I said, what the bloody hell is nice to Christmas? She can't even say Merry Christmas, man. You know what I'm saying? She lost the plot. Wallahi, made me laugh so much. I said, what the hell is that, man? She goes, oh, just being nice, innit? I said, if you're going to be nice, say it properly at least. Say Merry Christmas. What the hell does nice to Christmas mean? The guy was bamboozled. What the hell was that? Oh my God. So there you go. Doesn't matter how much you tell people and teach people, when you can't sort it out at home, what's the point? So I want to say that that's something which you need to kind of navigate around. I don't think it's very, very difficult. The Christmas party is something which in general should be avoided, not really because of its date, because actually no one does it on Christmas. Alright, it's done on the 10th, or in Shazad's case they did it yesterday or whatever. And the difference with Shazad is that he organized it. Astaghfirullah. We're going to have a lesson today or what? Shazada is following Sunnah, you see. He did it the right way. He chose a normal date and he said, I'm going to show you a bash. Organized a great one, mashallah. Nothing to do with Christmas. Everyone came and they were happy. Shazad was happy. Shazad's accountant not very happy, but that's about it. So I don't think it's a problem from a Shari'i point of view in terms of the event itself. The problem is exactly what's going to happen there: alcohol and messing about and so on and so forth, and people in state of undress and so on. First of all, I want to talk about the issue of ignorance. Okay. Ignorance is of two types. To not know is of two types. To not know something, jahl. Okay, ignorance is of two types. You'll have heard me explain this many times before, but another time is not harmful as well. Okay, jahl, ignorance is of two types: jahl basit and jahl murakkab, which is basically which can be translated as simple ignorance and compounded ignorance. Okay. Complex ignorance, compounded ignorance, complicated ignorance. All of these three words work, okay? Simple ignorance is straightforward. Hey, do you know
how many prayers there are in a day? No. No, I don't. Sorry. Do you know that the hijab is an obligation? Sorry, I didn't. Do you know how to get to the mosque? Sorry, I haven't got a clue. This is simple ignorance. You understand that? Simple ignorance. Guy is asked a question, he doesn't know, he says I don't know. Whether that's embarrassing or not is irrelevant. Whether that's haram or not is irrelevant. That has a separate connotation. But the point is that it's an honest, sincere type of ignorance. The second type of ignorance is, yes, I do. There are 7 types of prayer in the day, or 7 prayers in the day. Yes, I do. The hijab is not an obligation upon the women. How to weigh numbers or whether an opinion is considered to be worthy in a particular situation. He doesn't know who the scholars are, and if he does, he doesn't know the methodology that they adopted on why they differed. He doesn't know at all what it was that they actually stated. He wouldn't be able to recall to you what that statement was, when it was applied, what its context is, and everything. And he wouldn't know, or she wouldn't know. So therefore, this is a level of complicated ignorance which is innocent and celebrated or blameworthy. It's blameworthy. All right, and this is an important lesson. This can be applied, and we should all learn from this. This is not necessarily something about music. This is a lesson for all of us Muslims. If you don't know, say I don't know. Don't say to a person, I think this, I think that, because you are taking upon yourself a huge burden, and you are leading yourself astray, which is bad enough, and you are leading others astray, which is even worse. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, okay, that's why in the dua, all right, in the dua of guidance, of trying to protect ourselves, there is a difference between the dhal and the mudil. The dhal is the one who's misguided. The mudil is the one who misguides others, which is a major issue. A major issue, all right? If you are struggling, and you will, we're no better than anyone in that video, okay? Not because we dance or whatever, but because everyone is having their own struggle at some level. Struggle. Keep struggling. Struggling is a jihad, and it's a rewardable action, and it's something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises in a person, the one who tries. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a reminder to myself and to everyone else, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to forgive as long as you continue to seek forgiveness. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a tawwab, meaning intrinsically that He knows the people will come and then they'll go back and they will regress, and then they will come back and fix up and then they will regress. And that's a divine system of mercy Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us, and we should be happy with that. And you know from the usul of deen that that's a praiseworthy situation to be in, a station, I should say, a maqam on your way to a high level of taqwa. But it's still taqwa that's allowing you to feel guilty. If you're feeling guilty about something, you're feeling unsure, this is from the mercies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because there are millions of people out there that don't feel guilty at all. And worse than those people who don't feel guilty are those that go and try and justify it. Those who go and publicize their sin. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hidden many things from the people, many things, what they do. The second you go out and you make videos and you put it on the public and you publicize your own scenario and you try to justify it as well, and then you actually try to make it out that the other people are the ones who are not following Islam and that they're extremists, whatever, whatnot, then you should just know that you are moving into very serious territory. Much more serious than the dancing or the nakedness or the music, which honestly are 1% on the scale compared to the kind of problem that you're about to have here, which is you placing your intellect above that of the divine will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Sharia. Anyway, there's one miskeen, and he knows Arabic but he doesn't know any fiqh at all, and he's a beginner. So he picks up this book and he reads this hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَمَنْ اسْتَجْمَرَ فَلْيُوتِرْ, that whoever does istijmar, and he goes to the toilet and cleans himself with stones, then let him do witr. Every time he would go to the toilet. Every time that he would go to the toilet, he'd clean himself, then he'd go and pray 1 rak'ah. Every time. 1 rak'ah witr prayer. So one person, he said to him, Shaykh, wallahi, this becomes a big mission, this going to the toilet for me. So Shaykh goes to him, why? What's happened? He goes, wallahi, I don't know. I don't see anyone else doing this except me. Prophet ﷺ said, go and do witr when you do istijmar. And I'm doing istijmar day and night, and I'm praying how many times? And you know, no one else is praying, no one else is doing anything. Can you imagine what happened if you had diarrhea? You'd be praying Taraweeh all night, man. Tahajjud. Miskin.
So I thought of these three words. which is in Arabic called fahm and hukum and ilm. Maybe if somebody reads them separately, he will think that they mean the same thing. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He mentioned them in the same place in the Quran, it made me think what's the difference between understanding and knowledge and hukum. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about two major prophets, well known of their knowledge and wisdom and hikmah. Sulaiman alayhi salam and his father Dawood alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that He gave the understanding to the son, Sulaiman alayhi salam. فَفَهَّمْنَاهَا Sulaiman. But He praised both of them. And He said both of them, Sulaiman, Dawood the father, and Sulaiman, both of them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted them with knowledge and hukm. So I understood from that there is a difference between fahm, which is understanding, and knowledge. Sometimes a person may have a lot of knowledge, but he might not understand things as should be understood. Understanding or fahm is something beyond knowledge. I think this word has been translated into Arabic by another terminology, and they call it fiqh. Fiqh and fahm almost the same, which lead me to think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't depend on the age of a person. From here we see that Sulaiman alayhi salam is the one who understood the issue or the masala. Although his father has more experience, maybe have more knowledge, but still he is the one who understood the masala or the issue. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, also in Sahih al-Bukhari, once he was sitting with his companions and he said, there is a tree in the desert, or there is a tree which is similar to the believer. And the companions, major companions sitting there, and none of them could figure out that tree. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu was a young boy at that time, and he said it came to my mind that it was the date palm, nakhla. But he said I was shy to mention or to give the answer in front of my father and the other major companions of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then he told his father, of course. But here we understood that Ibn Umar was a young boy at that time, and nobody could understand or give the answer for that question. And only that young boy, Abdullah ibn Umar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enabled him to figure out the answer. Also we have Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. Abdullah ibn Abbas, also a young boy at that time, and maybe he's a teenager, or the early 20s when Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu became Khalifa. But Umar ibn Khattab used to invite him to the gathering of the Sahaba and the consultation and the Shura. And some of the major Sahaba complained. They said, we have also a similar son, the same age. Why don't you invite our son? He said, okay. And he said to the companions, well, I want to ask a question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when the victory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes and the conquest of Mecca, then say tasbih Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and repent to him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept your repentance. Umar asked the Sahaba, what is the meaning of this surah? All of them said, it's clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the Fath of Mecca, the opening of Mecca or the conquest of Mecca. And then he asked Ibn Abbas, what do you think? Ibn Abbas said, I think that this is an indication that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is approaching death. So Umar radiallahu anhu said, by Allah, this is also the same thing that came to my mind when I read it. So from here also we could understand another point at Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, why he was Ibn Abbas or Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu. They were gifted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala maybe with this ability to understand things better than others, although maybe they will share the same knowledge, the same environment, the same thing. But this fahm is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And we got chocolates, which is very, very good. And that's important that continues, because as long as the chocolates continue, the fiqh will continue. As long as the fiqh continues, life will continue. Then what else do we care about? Jazakumullah khair. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka Allahumma wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.